Table's special series, Railway Trippin' Tibetan Style. I am here in a restaurant hotel in Barkhor Street in Lhasa and having Tibetan sweet tea with my friends Lai Ming and Huangshen. Hey guys, should we do a cheers to everyone?
Cheers!
We've survived our trip and we
altitude sickness as well.
Yes, and
we are surviving. I'm doing very fine, by the way.
Actually, I think with the countdown 3, 2, 1 action, suddenly I'm ejected with this adrenaline and I feel pretty good. And right before the camera rolling, I was like panting a little bit because of the high altitude sickness. But we're doing all right. Anyhow, guys, Lai Ming, you are a veteran traveling to Tibet. This is his 4th time. Fourth time.
Fourth time.
And Huangshen,
first time.
It's the first time for her. And for me, somewhere in the middle, second time. So how are we feeling?
Whew.
Oh, I think I said it earlier. I'm doing very fine because we took the train.
I hate you for this day only. Yeah. Keep going.
For this one day. Okay. I'm doing very fine. High altitude sickness. I didn't feel anything until just a moment ago when I had to run. And that's when I felt like there was somebody using a hammer to hit me on my chest. Other than that, I'm doing very okay.
So you're feeling it too, and it makes me feel that much better. And also I like to show you, we've really come very far.
Yeah.
So we hopped on a
plane?
Flight, from Beijing and went all the way to Xining in...
we were here.
We were there in Qinghai province. And then we traveled
all the way.
1,956 kilometers.
You have really good memory, Lai Ming.
I try.
All the way to Lhasa, and here's where we are bringing you this live recording.
Right.
So you've got an idea of the geographic location, and guys, after, getting a little bit climatized with everything, and we managed ourselves to get to Barkhor Street, which is...
Barkhor Street.
Yeah, and...
which has over 1,300 years history?
Yeah, I believe so. I mean, this place used to be sort of very close to Drogkhan Temple. And people, especially believers of Tibetan Buddhism, they used to circulate the Drogkhan Temple as a means to do the prayers. And over time, they expanded that ritual to cover the entire Barkhor Street. So now here we are. Every time I landed in Lhasa, I would spend time in this neighborhood. So I had no problem finding my way, and this feels like home. It's kind of like home in the sense that you would know where to go. You would know what to expect. But it's not like home in the sense that if it's your home, you are very much familiar with every store that has been here. So I sort of take it for granted. I don't look for the specific the stores, outlets, because there's no way I can remember them. But I remember the structure, the path,
layout,
and the people here.
And the Barkhor Street is located in the heart of Lhasa, and this is very much what it looks like in the old town. So even so today, it still very much reflects what Lhasa used to be, and I think it's absolutely brilliant when you see such history and culture being preserved in a city like this. And also just as we were traveling into the city, the center of Lhasa, we saw all these brand new buildings, construction everywhere. Yeah, right? So that was like a very different taste of the city, and we were almost amazed by how fast the city is developing. So you've got the modern side of it, and here in Barkhor Street, it is just so authentic of what you imagine what Lhasa to be. And Lai Ming, such a gentleman. Are you filling me up with
wow, that's very nice of you. Thank you.
Some more sweet tea.
Tibetan sweet tea. And Huangshen, I know you as a connoisseur of good food and tea. So, with the Tibetan sweet tea, how is that different from what we usually have in Beijing or the traditional butter tea in Tibet?
I think the texture is very rich, and I asked the boss of this restaurant, and he told me that the tea is made from the Tibetan black tea together with sugar and milk, and they boil it together and boil them together, and now we have this a bottle of the Tibetan sweet tea, and also the butter tea.
Do you mean the bottle?
Yeah, the whole bottle. They'll serve you the whole bottle, and you can share with your friends and families, and also that's a very good thing for the social life, because you can just sit on a table and with very cozy atmosphere and talk about whatever you want with your dear friends and family members, and just get a sip of the sweet tea. It just can light up a day. And I also asked the restaurant owner, they said the signature dish in this restaurant is the Tibetan style hot pot.
Oh yeah.
I don't know how it's different from our Beijing style or other like Sichuan style hot pot, but probably we'll experience it later today.
I can only imagine. I've heard nothing about Tibetan hot pot.
Yeah.
I mean, we know here in Lhasa they have a lot of Sichuan food. People in Sichuan and Chongqing that have to travel here and make a living. So everywhere you go, you see Sichuan restaurant. But I don't think we are going to have the same kind of hot pot that we have in Sichuan. So this much is really worth looking forward to, because we don't really know enough about it.
And there's also a trivia here. Some people say actually Lhasa hosts the most Sichuan style restaurant than any other cities in China.
Even more than in
Beijing.
In Chengdu.
And actually, we get Sichuan food a lot, like everywhere. And actually, I think in Beijing it's really popular too. And also, I'd like to highlight one fact for you. That is, for this special series, everything is recorded live. So you'd be able to hear like these clubs clucking against each other, and the fellow travelers next table, sometimes arguing and haggling about the money, how much they're going to pay or whatnot. So this is all raw and real, and this is what we want Roundtable to be when we're traveling and taking you with us. So yes, we've taken this little stroll around Barkhor Street, and what did you guys see? What leaves and sticks with you?
Start with Laimei.
I saw tourists donning traditional Tibetan style clothing and posing for photographs everywhere they go. A lot of them stop by the Drokang temple, and you can almost see professional photographers pointing their cameras to their faces, and as they make these postures.
You do that too.
No, I didn't. You guys did it.
No, you will do that later on this trip. I promise you.
Okay, sure.
He is such a poser. You can't tell, because usually on Roundtable he's like so serious.
And I'm just like this.
Delivering like really well coherent arguments. That's Laiming. But actually off camera, he's such a poser, and in a good way. I mean, like in the studio, it takes me like 1,000 photo shoots to get one good photo, but for this one, he needs just one, and that's it. I didn't know why I went into great detail into that, but you'll get to see these different sides of all of us when we're on a trip, and when we're sharing our views, insights, and instant reactions in the audio as well as the videos that will be available very soon online.
And also, I'm really curious as to what Huangshan is feeling, because it is really her first time in Lhasa, and she's been kind of looking forward to this trip.
Yeah, I think Lhasa as a visitor, right, is a magical place for all the visitors, because especially in the streets, because it showcased the original outlook of Lhasa. And when I just walk around, I can see even today, and there's still many pilgrims, and they are holding the prayer wheels and walking clockwise on the street from dawn to dark. I think they're very dedicated to the religion religion, to the belief, and I do respect that. And I was touched by their sincerity and that purity in their belief. And also, when I walk around the street with Heyang, and we just walk into some really fancy Tibetan costume shops, I was fascinated by the traditional Tibetan costumes. They're so pretty, colorful, and also very functional. And I think it travels.
What do you mean by functional?
Functional because you know Tibet, especially in Lhasa,
it's not that light.
Yeah, it's
unfortunately.
If you're just walking in the city or living in the city for a day, you can experience the weather of 4 seasons.
Oh, I see. Weather functional.
Yes.
Okay.
And also, in this particular part of Tibet, which is the Chengdu area and Nachu area, these are the northern parts of Tibet, and it gets really cold at night and early in the morning. And then it's just really useful to layer up. And in traditional Tibetan attire, like the outer layer, you can just like take off one sleeve and throw it at the back, you know? And then if
it's getting colder, you can put it back on.
Yeah, and so you get to choose, and that becomes a distinctive fashion characteristic of Tibetan style.
I see.
Yeah, so functionality comes in that sense.
Well, I do look forward to seeing you guys.
And you as well.
Well, okay.
Don't forget that.
Sure.
We're not leaving you out of this.
You're the star of the show.
You're secretly anticipating our invitation. Somehow I sense that.
Yeah.
Okay, if you put it that way.
Yeah.
So,
also, there are a lot of fantastic commodities and sold on the street.
Commodities.
Yeah, like a tanka.
Okay.
Right, and probably also the prayer wheels.
Prayer wheels.
And all kinds of
precious
things.
stones.
Yes, and I was fascinated by the architectures here, because when you walk into the Asian street and you can see all the houses, they are paved by the hand polished board stones. They're so original, so organic, and the colors are so vibrant. You could see the vibrant white color and red, green, and I really I don't know how to describe it. It's like a dark gray. That's my favorite color.
Dark gray. Have you bought anything?
Wow, you know what? I had a rush to buy a traditional Ninchi style costume.
Okay.
But it's too expensive.
Oh, how much?
I cannot.
How much do they cost?
Oh wow, the shop owner didn't tell me. She just let me know that it's super expensive. Probably I could not afford it. So I just walk away.
Maybe that particular costume was booked.
Oh, probably, because it's so pretty. Yeah.
Well, we are going to spend 2 weeks here, so maybe you'll get your chances.
Yeah, so it's really special here in Barkhor Street in the sense that in the middle is the Zhaohang temple. Yes, and that's 大昭寺 in Chinese, and I'm sure a lot of us in China would have heard of that name.
It's so famous because it holds the statue of the Buddha.
Exactly.
Which is why the pilgrims, they like to walk around the temple to show to give the prayers and show the piety.
Yeah, and I learned a new word this morning. Circumambulation. That is 转经. So basically, set in the middle, in the center, is the Zhaohang temple, which was built. It was Songzan Ganbu.
Yeah.
Han Dynasty, more than 1,000 years ago.
Yeah.
7th century. And then he gave the order that he was going to build 4 palaces. And then, when you see that history starts from the center like that, and then the streets sort of develop from that, and here is where we are doing this show, and that just gives, at least for me at this moment, I feel such gravitas, because it's and also this is Lhasa. For anybody here in China, it's almost like that is a remote, sacred place. And here we are, and it just makes everything super memorable for me, and being able to do this show with you guys here makes it extra special.
And almost every bit of the city is history. You might think that this courtyard is just some random building, but guess what? It's more than 300 years old, and it was used. Well, back then it was owned by a general, and then 100 years ago it was the residence of a very successful family in business and trading.
So Tang actually can be translated into family?
Family, yeah.
Yeah, into Mandarin, right?
So Bangda Sang is where we are, and that means the home, the house of Bangda.
So actually there's a lot of history, 300 years of history in this particular construction that we are in doing this show, and it was...
There's another very interesting form of art in here, that is Thangka.
Oh yeah, Thangka.
Yeah, that's the Tibetan scroll painting, and you can find it in some shops along the street. I think it's a Tibetan style art form, and that depicts the history and science and religion and beliefs and arts of this region, which is amazing.
Yeah, the painting itself is a piece of art, and also a means of ritual. It usually takes at least half a year to finish one piece of Thangka. Sometimes it could go as long or as far as more than 10 years. And in the process of making such painting, there are very precise rules to follow. And as a human being, to impose these rules willingly on yourself, to follow the ritual and to do it sketch brush by brush, and that is a means of showing dedication to what you believe in, and it is very impressive.
Yeah. So a lot of this does go to religion and art and culture, and so much of I guess sophisticated knowledge that you kind of need to read more into to really get a feel of what this is all about. And for us outsiders, travelers who are here the first time, like Bangshan, or the second time for me, and actually last time when I was here, it was on a broadcasting trip, and it was really short. So this time I'm super lucky that I'll get more time to spend here and to learn more about Lhasa, Shiga, Ningxi, you know, all these places. Yeah, so, you know, you're getting it all from us. And then also for Lai Ming, you know, who's been here the 4th time.
Yeah.
And, you can tell he's more experienced and has more to share. And
I know my way around, suffice to say. For instance, look at this building, and this, like I said earlier, is more than 300 years old. And in fact, this building, as they told me, in the construction of it, they never used modern technique. They never used iron bars, steel bars. They never used screws. They never used cement. And they used stone, mud. And there was a very special technique called dagatu. Well, that's what it says in Mandarin Chinese. And it's a process in which people really hone the base of the ground, of the floor, or the ceiling. And it is impressive in the sense that when people do this, you have files and files of people, and they hold a stick, and at the end of the stick is I suppose it's a very heavy stuff, and they sing and they dance and they march forward and they hit the ground with the heavy stuff, with the heavy stick, and therefore to make sure that the ground is solid or the ceiling is solid. And that process is a form of art. So when we spend time in this building, we think of the ancient techniques that people use, think of the ancient way of living and that people used to have, and we also couldn't help but think about how far they've come along in adapting to modernity, to the modern way of living.
Yeah, it's very interesting to see when the modern vibe meets the traditions in the city, and the business here is quite busy, and especially it's a tourism season, and now we can see in Tibet and especially in Lhasa now the tourism is booming. And when we walk into this courtyard, I realized a new business opportunity, which
is that?
Quite popular here. It's wedding photo shooting. You can see these lovers and they're dressed in the traditional Tibetan costumes, and also they're doing the Tibetan style makeup, and with all the beads and decorations and accessories, and they're posing for their pre-wedding photos, which is super cool. You're just like taking a wedding photos at a roof of the world. No one can beat you on that, you know.
This is something that actually a lot of people very much sort of long for, and it can cost you quite a bit if
That's true. Yeah, and you're very realistic.
Sorry, that's who I am. But if when folks, when they're spending so much time and so much thought into it, and then it's kind of also fun to see like so many people like having a team of photographers and entourage and just getting them ready, all dolled up and all that. And this is definitely a scene here in China. People are really serious about their pre-wedding photos, and also you see just young people, the vibrancy that they bring. But another thing is, like, when we first arrived here, and apparently this is the ideal place for photo shoots and all that, and I thought all those people all glammed up in traditional Tibetan clothing were local people, until I realized
no, they're not.
They're just like us.
Half of them are travelers. They are people who are just like us, maybe here for this unforgettable memory, and when we pass by, maybe they'll catch us in the photo, or maybe they'll just edit us out. But anyhow, this is the vibrant scene we have here in Lhasa. Well, what else do you think would be fun to do when you're in this area?
I would try and find my way back to, what do you call that? It's more like a cafe or coffee or tea house. It was here 10 years ago when I was here the first time, and this time over when I was doing research for this part of our trip, I realized that inconspicuous store or cafe has become somewhat of a internet, what do you call them? Internet
cafe?
Cafe?
No, more like a...
It's a cafe with social influence?
Yeah. In internet jargon, you call people influencers, but that store in itself is an influencer over the internet.
Or you can just easily call it Instagrammable cafe.
Yeah, I'd like to find my way back there and maybe talk to the manager or the owner, see if he's still around, if he still remembers me.
Does this cafe serve like yogurt cafe, like yogurt coffee? Because I saw on a poster, there's one signature coffee served in Lhasa that is like called yogurt coffee, which they combine yogurt and coffee as like as like it said on the menu. So I'm curious about how it tastes.
Sounds like your thing. We can try. We can definitely try and find that place and try. But for my agenda, I don't remember the yogurt coffee thing. I remember barley beer.
Ooh. Yeah, I wonder if we can get to have a little taste of that, and please
probably in Chikats.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they have a forum or a festival of that beer.
珠峰文化节, Himalaya Mountain Cultural Festival, if that's a correct translation of that festival. And as part of that event, I think they have a barley beer festival.
Yeah.
And also, if you say 珠峰, then does that mean that it's going to be even higher in altitude?
Yeah. Brace yourself.
That will be another challenge that we will go up, climb up, experience.
By train.
Yeah.
Yes, railway tripping, Tibetan style, right?
Yeah.
And last time when I was here, it was super brief. I only remember working, doing the broadcasting, plus one small thing. That is this bookshop that I went to.
Oh.
And actually, yeah, we mentioned a little bit about in Tibet. You know, this is a special place, very dear to our hearts as Chinese people. So you get these 文艺青年, so these artsy, youth people, and sometimes
Pretenders.
hipsters in another way to say it, and they come here. And you guys, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Lai Ming is filling
Such a gentleman.
me up with more sweet tea.
Sweet tea.
Thank you very much.
There you go.
And he's in charge. He's
Where were
in
we?
charge of the sweet tea
I got the bottle
flask. Yes. So he's the man in that sense. And back to my bookstore.
Yeah.
So basically, at the time, it became this must-go place if you want to sort of wear the badge of, you know, artsy person or whatnot. And I remember going there, and then it was so fascinating. It was kind of a magnet that attracted young people from all over the place. I bumped into this guy who's living.
Guy.
Oh.
Where is he now?
Is there a story here?
No, unfortunately, no.
Okay.
Yeah, so that guy, he was from Yunnan province, and somebody from Tianjin, and I'm from Beijing. And then we were there, like, writing postcards, and you have to get the local stamp, you know, to like sending my love from the third pole. That means something.
I remember, yes. Speaking of, I mean, you just jotted my memory.
Was there a story for you, Lai Ming, 10 years ago?
Last time I was here,
You two were on a business trip together, right?
I think I made a point of going to the post office by the Patala Palace.
Oh.
Excuse me.
Somebody's getting choked up.
Yeah, just
take your time, Lai Ming.
Have
There you
some
go.
like
Have a
sweet tea.
sip. It's okay, Lai Ming.
Right,
Whatever memories coming up, you know.
Well, I went to the post office and bought some postcards to make sure I got the stamp of that post office, because it's by the Patala Palace, and then send it to my friends. It was kind of special. I hope you guys get a chance to go there this time.
I thought
It's right by the Patala Palace.
I thought the story was going to the direction that you bump into He Yang and that guy together, and I'm sorry.
No, not that story.
I'm just a person who read too many like romantic novels, you know. And since you mentioned Patala Palace, right, I'm just a very boring and cliched tourist. I just want to go to Patala Palace. That's a sacred place for me whenever anyone just mentioned Lhasa in Tibet.
Of course.
That's a must-go place for me. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that huge palace built on a mountain, and it's even bigger than what you imagine once you are at the foot of the mountain.
And it's best at night. I mean, certainly you want to go there during daytime to get inside. But if you want a good picture of yourself in front of the Patala Palace, try and go in there in the middle of the night. The palace will light up.
Wow. And is there a very good photo taking spot on Nanshan Gongyuan? It's like their park next to Patala Palace.
Oh yeah, we should try and get access to that park.
Yeah, that would be great. But before all of that, we're feeling a little bit peckish, I would imagine, because my stomach is singing right now. So I suppose my friends would, you know, be feeling something similar.
Yeah?
I'm starving. I'm starving.
What is it singing in your stomach?
My stomach is singing, I want Tibetan hotpot. And that's what we're going to show to you in the next part of today's Roundtable Special Series, Railway Trippin', Tibetan Style. Stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
Hey guys, welcome back to Roundtable's special series, Roundtable's Railway Trip It Tibetan Style. And I'm He Yang. Do you hear bubbling? Bubbling. Yes. I'm here with Lai Ming and Huang Shen, and we're having dinner, and this is Tibetan hot pot. So the bubbling comes from the hot pot.
A steaming, boiling hot pot in front of us.
Yeah.
We've been gazing at it for bits now.
So shall we start right now?
Why not?
Let's do it. Let's dig in. Here we go. Okay, so with this hot pot, it comes with the soup and so much other ingredients.
We've got...
What is it then?
We've got carrots.
This is my favorite. Broccoli, because we know all the green vegetables are considered as healthy food, but this one is the true superfood because it can boost your immune system and also good for eye health.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. No wonder she's looking at me. I'm the only one that's wearing glasses on the team. And for the little ones at home, if you're a little kid, mom and pop must tell you that, eat the vegetables, and you heard it from Huang Shen, this is what you should go for.
We put it on Roundtable.
Oh, yeah.
Also in
This
the
is the
pot.
highlight, right? This is the highlight.
What's the highlight, Lai Mei?
This looks like beef, but I think it's yak.
So, yak is a type of cattle, but you can only find it here. Sorry, I'm chewing. Gosh, this is amazing.
Oh, the broth is amazing.
Okay. Oh, the broth is yak bone broth. So,
So we're eating and sharing all of our experience with you in real time. Let me swallow this down.
I think we are being too eager. Have you guys had a chance to look at the sauce?
Oh my.
Okay, so Tibetan hot pot has a sauce, or a variety of sauces for you to choose from. Just like how we eat hot pot in other places in the country. Okay, so Huang Shen, what kind of sauces do we see in front of us?
Okay, this one is garlic. And
what is this?
Let's give her the sauce first.
Okay.
This is some green gooey stuff. Sorry, I'm not making it particular appetizing, but Huang Shen can do better.
It's a local herb.
It's a local herb, but we don't know what it's for. Do you think it looks a little bit like the chive or leek flour in the Beijing style hot pot for the dipping sauce?
It does look like that.
Can I smell a little?
Go
ahead.
Smell it. What's the fragrance like?
It smells like grass.
Grass. Oh, let me try a little bit. Ooh, this is a grassy smell. And also, the waiter just told us that this is from the mountains in Tibet, and then basically, local people handpick them and then grind them and then put it together.
It's good for digestion.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yes, and
let's leave it here.
Oh, hold on. I need to put a little bit of this into my plate.
Okay.
I definitely want to try this one. And what's the other sauce? That is,
Tibetan spice.
Tibetan
spicy sauce.
Spicy sauce and the traditional chili sauce.
Chili sauce,
What's the difference?
This one, Tibetan one, is more spicy.
And the texture is a bit different.
I can smell cumin in here.
Oh, okay.
Cumin and red pepper.
Oh, you do know your way in the kitchen.
Yeah.
And let's swap. Here's the oily, spicy sauce.
The local style.
This is just like what we have.
Yeah.
In
they call them you po lad.
You po lad.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna put some of this in my dish too, so that I'll try it in a second. Pass it on to you.
And then there's the oyster oil sauce.
Yeah, oyster sauce.
Right.
So I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, in the southern parts of China, like Guangxi and Guangdong province, they do love their oyster sauce, and it's the soy sauce for us northerners.
And this one smells like the Mexican chili sauce. This one, the Tibetan chili sauce. Yeah.
Let me have some.
Very similar.
Okay, there you go, Lai Mei.
Thank you.
And also, how can you have the sauce dipping for hot pot without my favorite coriander? Or what do Americans call
cilantro.
it? cilantro.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there. Yeah. And you either love it or you hate it. And I'm having a ton of the cilantro.
Okay.
Me too.
So this is just like having hot pot in the rest of the country. You go and get a bowl of your own sauce. You can make your own sauce.
I put
and then,
all of them on my plate.
Oh.
Yeah.
And that's
As
fine?
does Huyan.
Is there anything wrong with that?
I'm putting it in a bowl.
Oh, I didn't know that. And also, you know, scallion.
Scallion.
Chopped into little pieces. Would you like some, Laimei?
I already have some. Thank you.
All right, okay.
Oh.
Why don't you help yourself to it if you want? And I'm just putting all of that, like, shoving it into the bowl. Apparently, this is the correct way of doing it.
I'm not sure. It's just my way of doing it.
So we might be copying from the wrong person, but there you go.
There you go.
So we've got the sauces sorted out.
Ready.
And
what else do we have?
So what else do we have in the pot?
So we come back to the hot pot and it is boiling.
Can I try some of the herb?
Herb? Oh yeah, go ahead. You want the herb?
The local herb sauce.
So back to the pot per se. There's yak we mentioned earlier.
Okay, so yak
definitely a local specialty. You don't see them outside of Tibet, most likely.
Yeah.
And this here, I guess, is tripe, is it?
Yeah.
Tripe. Basically yak stomach.
You're right.
Very chewy.
And we have radish here.
Radish. All right. And there's
what else do we have?
The yellow one is potato. Potato.
Yeah. Okay. Another superfood. Mushroom.
Yeah. And then goji berries.
Ooh.
All right. So are you supposed to like let these ingredients boil until they're totally flavorful and delicious, and then you pick from it?
Yeah.
Oh, this is different from how we do it in Beijing.
But the yak meat is pre-cooked.
Yak meat is ready, yeah.
Yeah.
Really
but all the veggies are fresh, so you have to let it bubbling for a bit.
Yeah.
And we also have spinach and tofu here.
And then glass noodles.
And glass noodles.
Yeah, this one
That's
here.
my favorite.
There you go.
Yeah, you just let it like swim in the hot water for a little bit and then take it out, and then it goes well with everything.
What are we waiting for?
We were waiting for Huyan to make a comparison between Tibetan hotpot and the Beijing hotpot.
Oh, really? Is that what you were waiting for? Yes. Okay.
And as you do this, I'm going to go for the yak meat.
Okay, well...
I'll take my first bite of the yak meat.
My friends dig in as I do the talking.
As you do the explanation.
Yeah, which is fine. Okay. This is totally distracting, by the way, guys.
Really?
So as my friends, they enjoy the delicious food.
Wow.
Yeah, feel free to make the noises because, you know, we're doing the video and audio at the same time.
Otherwise, the comparison is not going to be interesting.
All right. And here it goes. So, in Beijing, we do it differently, and hot pot is totally a big deal. And I wouldn't say, okay, it's called Old Beijing hot pot, but the style very much is inherited from the Qing court, which is the Manchu people.
Okay.
And that would be the 15th century when Mongolian style of hot pot sort of came into Beijing, and it still sticks with us even until today, our diet here, in Beijing, okay? And then the hot pot comes with clear water or very little broth.
Yeah.
So it's not like this one, you know, it's like
soup.
It's 10 out of 10 when you see the Tibetan hot pot presented on the dinner table. But with the Beijing hot pot, basically we dip in the ingredients.
No, with ginger and spring onion.
Yeah, but it's pretty clear, right?
You can see the goji berries and ginger and onion floating or
on the broth,
or at the bottom of the pot.
And can I just say one thing?
Yeah.
Simplicity does not mean simple, okay? And that's us Beijing people. And so we add the ingredients, whatever we like, into it, and then some people might say, aren't you guys not very hygienic? Because each of one of you would be adding in your own thing. But, you know, what we think is that with 100 degrees of boiling hot water, it probably kills any germ, whatever.
Most of them.
And also, it's symbolic, right? It's like we're gathered around a round table, and then you're eating this good stuff.
Okay.
So
Thank you.
that's my brief Thank you very much.
And also with Beijing hotpot, you're supposed to.
You're still clapping. Yeah.
You're supposed to.
Why? Thank you,
I was just thinking.
Thank you very much.
So with Beijing hotpot, you're supposed to pick the raw meat and dip it in the soup and for a few seconds.
Yeah.
And it will be ready in just a few seconds, and you eat it.
Yeah.
In comparison for Tibetan, oh, by the way, you can go ahead and eat the yak meat.
Yeah.
In comparison for Tibetan
Very
hotpot,
soft.
yeah, it comes in the whole bowl. So everything is inside.
Yeah.
And you just look at it and as it boils. So I think it makes the pot very crowded.
This also looks a little bit similar to the Cantonese dish called pun choi.
Pun choi.
Pen tai.
Yeah.
Yeah, Cantonese people usually have it during the Spring Festival on the eve of the Lunar New Year.
Yeah.
And also I think for Beijing style hot pot, another key ingredient or the soul of the Beijing hot pot is the dipping sauce.
Yeah,
you
the
must
sesame.
have the sesame sauce and accompanied with the chive or the leek flour. We call it 韭菜花. I don't know how to translate it.
It depends on your taste.
Yes.
And then feel free to add it in.
And also the
or remind
fermented tofu, right? The
fermented
pink
tofu.
furu.
Yeah,
the pink color fermented tofu sauce.
Yeah, that's the Northerners. The redness.
Coriander for sure.
Right.
And this is a Beijing style hot pot. But here, I really appreciate the broth because it's very thick and very deep. It
very
adds
flavorsome.
Yeah, it adds some depth to the layers of the flavors of this pot. And the yak meat, it's softer than I expected. It's like melting in your mouth.
You found a good pick. Also, by the way, look what I excavated from the bottom of the pot. Some cabbages.
Wow.
You mean the plain old cabbage that
treasure hunt
that we and
I think they're ready.
We can't live without in wintertime in Beijing, and it is truly, I think it's the queen of all vegetables. Maybe lettuce can be king. That's just self-proclaimed. More cabbage.
Right. One more similarity with hot pots in the rest of the country, or most likely in Beijing, is the bronze pot that we are looking at. Right? Because if you have hot pot in Sichuan, most likely it is just a metal pot. It's certainly not yellow.
Yeah.
And in some cases, it's a huge pot with grids.
Yeah.
And this is more like something you see in Beijing style hot pot.
Can I say something though?
Yeah.
If I may. In Beijing, this copper pot would be a layer taller than what we see here because there has to be a bottom layer, and that is for charcoal.
Oh, yeah.
Without that, you lack authenticity.
Oh, okay. Whatever you say. I'm going to go for the try.
Go for it. Dig in, people.
All right.
So delicious.
I'm just taking in all the aroma.
Yeah.
And
it's also pleasant to the eyes just by looking at it.
When was the last time we had hot pot together? I know Huyan and I, we had hot pot in Sichuan.
We were there on a business trip, in case you were wondering. And then it was like, after a long day of work, what do we do for dinner, And then if you're in Sichuan, in Chengdu, you simply have to have local hot pot. And it was the first time for me to be educated as someone who simply cannot take spices usually. Like, I have a very sensitive and soft tongue and palate. So then that time, the hot pot came in all full on red, and there were different soup bases, but they were all red and spicy.
We didn't dare order the clear broth pot because we were afraid of being laughed at by the shop owners.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
So it was kind of a challenge for me and for Huyan as well.
Well, you put on a brave face. I didn't know that you were thinking about that. I thought you were just like, trying to hold your laughter at, a softie like I am in the sense of, not being able to take in spices. But it was not firing hot spice. It was tasteful spice. That's what we had. And here, I don't think it's really spicy is not the the tone that they're
No,
going
it's not.
for here.
No.
Yeah, this is more like
It gives
tasting.
you the original taste of all the fresh ingredients. So this is a big test on like how fresh the ingredients are, because there's nothing to cover up, right?
No.
Because if you have the chili soup base, and you can, to some extent, you can hide the flavor a little bit, but
Exactly.
with the fresh bone soup with broth, wow, give you the natural taste of all the precious ingredients in this pot. But do you guys know what is this for? The white porcelain like cup or bowl on the top of the copper pot?
I have no idea.
Right?
I wish I had a chance to ask the shop owner.
Okay, my educated guess is that it is to retain the heat so that it might, boil faster or, keep the hotness inside of the pot. Well, that's just my guess. It could be a wild guess.
I don't know. And maybe after this recording, we'll talk to the restaurant owner, and maybe we could post it in a Weibo posting or on Facebook. Yeah.
Or let us know what you think. I'm sure there are a lot of, smart people out there who are watching the show, listening to the show, and let us know if you have the answer to why is there this little cup on the top of this hot pot.
Let us know.
Yeah.
I'm just going to test the carrots for you guys.
Okay.
Go for it.
Shall I add some ingredients?
You seem pretty
like
reserved.
tofu?
Do you not like the flavor?
I
She's
am
just professional.
Actually, it's just I think I look terrible when I'm chewing
Oh, okay.
and talking at the same time, and you guys manage it so gracefully, and
I'm fine with that,
I'm not so confident in that sense, but
This is called 偶像包袱 in Chinese, the burden
really?
of being an idol or something.
If you got your hands tied, then that means more food for me. Fine by me.
yeah, Liming's really tucking in.
But we'll get fatter.
No.
And like camera adds 10 pounds, so...
Well, let me count. There are
Hold
3
on.
cameras.
With the workload we're enduring every day, I'm already losing weight. I'm not kidding.
Good job.
This morning when I got on the scale, I lost some weight. So I'm not worried about that.
Some yak meat for you then.
Oh, thank you.
That's so sweet.
Thank you
All right,
for serving me some yak meat.
Yeah. And back to the question, when was the last time we had hot pot together? I don't recall. I mean, you guys had hot pot before I joined the round table.
Oh, yeah.
And after that, it's always been canteen food.
Oh, it brings us back to our canteen.
Yeah.
Which is kind of amazing because, well, I think the chefs in our canteen are very creative. They are one of the teams that are super innovative in coming up with new ideas in how to feed us, I would say. And yeah, probably we should have a hot pot party after we go back to Beijing. But I mean, what is this? Should you like introduce
I mean this yellow cup thingy?
Yeah, liquid.
There's something inside.
What? Yeah,
There's
there
something
is.
inside.
There's content inside the cup.
I'll just take a sip.
It smells like rice wine.
Smells like rice wine, but it's actually barley wine.
Ooh.
Yep.
So this is the local
produce, right?
Yeah. It's homemade by this restaurant owner. And yeah, again, we are still at Bangdacang.
Yeah.
And this is a hotel restaurant. And Tibetan style food is their specialty. Besides Tibetan hotpot, they also have other Tibetan style food. For instance, 手抓牛肉.
Ooh.
Just beef that you are supposed to eat with your bare hands. So in olden days, you're supposed to eat that kind of beef or yak meat with a knife.
Wow.
No chopsticks, no fork and knife, just a knife. That kind of knife.
I have a question.
Yeah?
After the show, can I order an ice cream? Because I just saw on the menu and it offers the barley ice cream.
Barley ice cream.
Yeah, I like to try all the bizarre flavors of ice cream. And at one time, I think I saw a wasabi ice cream.
Oh yeah.
and marshmallow ice cream. And I like all kinds of like weird like flavors of ice cream. But I think this will taste pretty good because it's barley, right? It just will like a rice wine flavor. I don't know. Should we try it out after the show?
Yeah, if we can wave at the restaurant owner, then maybe it'll be served. But sadly, he's not here currently.
Yeah.
He's probably busy serving other people.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. And in Tibet, basically, you can see variations of qingke, so the Tibetan barley that we see here, or the yak. I mean, this particular kind of animal, it serves so many purposes, and I'm sure local people, Tibetan people, have a very special relationship with it, yak. And as you can see, you know, it's featured in this hot pot for sure.
Oh yeah. Have you noticed there's no fish?
Oh yeah, very good question. So Lai Ming, why is it that we don't see fish so often here in Tibet?
There are many reasons, and I had a chance to talk to a living Buddha a couple of years ago, and he told me that the reason why the Tibetan people don't have fish is, for one thing, they live in holy waters and holy lakes, and that makes them holy as well. And also, most of the people here, they are believers of Tibetan Buddhism, and they try and not kill
fish.
Yeah, they try and not kill, and because when they have to, but they also have to because they their staple food, their food mostly mostly involves meat, so they have to eat meat. But when they do, they try and avoid killing that many lives. So fish, have you noticed? And they are easily digestible. So in order for you to get to be satiated and full, you need to eat a lot of fish. And so, in comparison, if you slaughter a yak in the proper way and with respect, a yak might be able to sustain a family for many days. So they try and stay away from fish.
Probably that's also the reason why I comparing to other places in the country, and the diet in Tibet is more meaty. You can see more meat and covered like in the dishes, because I think meat can give them energy and keep them warm. So probably that's also the reason why it's very rare to see the vegetables here. But in this pot, we can see loads of vegetables.
Right.
Yeah, and considering nowadays with train being so available and accessible for local people, and many other ways of traffic, so basically, you know, moving in all these ingredients such as vegetables, that's not such a, you know, difficult task anymore. So now, like in restaurants, or we haven't had a chance to go to a Tibetan person's home yet.
No.
We probably will get a chance to do that in the future, so stay tuned on this special series of Roundtable Railway Trip in Tibetan Style. So for nowadays, I think it's just a lot easier to get all kinds of foods one enjoys, and the bubbling just stopped for a second. It's fully cooked.
We need to add more broth, I guess.
Have we run out of the gas?
I thought this is all like, you know, very much calculated, you know, at the right timing, and then, you know, the bubbling stops, and then it's ready for us to sort of eat the whole thing, because, yeah, we still have a lot in the pot, as we've been doing a lot of talking, too.
This is a pot for more than 3 of us. I think this is a pot for 7 or 8 people.
Yeah.
And certainly we're recording a show here. We are presenting you the authentic feel of Tibetan hotpot, but that doesn't mean all 3 of us are going to finish the entire pot, which is meant for 7 to 8 people.
But after the show, we'll share this hot pot with our best friends, because this is the essence of hot pot, to share with your beloved ones.
And if you notice the size of our faces, you will know there are 3 cameras pointing at us, so there are at least 3 more people will join us and enjoy the hot pot.
Yes, this hot pot does look very delicious now, and with all that cooking and bubbling and all that, I think all the flavors, you know, it goes into the pot. So it's really waiting for us to devour it, but we'll not, demonstrate the whole process in front of the camera.
I've been eating all the time.
Yeah.
and you still manage doing the talking, so it's quite amazing what you do.
This is just like a regular dinner, and people chat when they eat stuff.
But you know what? To guarantee the sound quality of the show, you should avoid this radish or the bamboo sprout because they make a really good sound.
They're really crunchy.
Yeah, when you chew them, they're very crunchy. So we probably should start with some really soft stuff.
Well, how about we take up the talking responsibility and let He Yang and enjoy some of the food here, and later on we make a comparison, or let's decide.
Well, that's very kind of you.
Which one you would like to go first?
Okay, well, I'm really digging in deep, and this hot pot is very deep. I think this is probably...
Cabbage? More cabbages?
Gosh.
Don't touch the couple.
I know. I'm
just
just trying to test it. So it's like this big, so it's like... Ooh, be careful, I mean. So it's like, a third of my phone, that's how big it is, and it's full with content.
It's full,
So as I'm digging in, let's see, what am I greeted with? A lot of meat, actually. This is a very meaty dish.
Superfood, more.
Oh, and the more, it's got a very bad English translation, because I know plenty of people get super put off when you say fungus. It's like, they're like, ew, that's so disgusting. But that's just the way it's grown. It's actually supposedly very good for you. Huangshan said it's a superfood, and it's in the northern parts of northeastern parts of China, like in the mountains, there's a lot of
like the dad's hometown.
Oh yeah.
Yes, we know each other very well.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. So this is supposed to be a very healthy ingredient to have.
I was told that people there in northeast China, they eat mushroom. What do you call them? More.
Fungi.
What fungus?
Fungus.
What fungus?
The dark one?
Oh yeah.
And?
Wooden ear fungus.
Oh.
They eat it raw, like sashimi.
Oh. Oh, I like in a salad.
Yeah. You just make the dipping sauce and mix with soy sauce and wasabi, and you just dip the moor into the dipping sauce. It tastes like you're having a sashimi.
Yeah. Imagine that. You must have tried that. Your ancestral hometown.
See, sometimes when your colleagues know you too well, and then you're just, you feel that friendly pressure when it's like, it actually takes courage to admit that, no, I have not had that.
Oh,
but
that's kind of sad. Even though I've tried that, and I'm from southern China.
Okay. Yeah. Trying that now.
What's your hot pot style in your hometown?
Hot pot style?
Yeah. Is there a special hot pot style, like a special style of hot pot in your hometown?
My most memorable part about hot pot in my hometown was homemade beef tendon hot pot.
Ooh.
It was very spicy and very chewy.
Ooh.
But we spent time boiling it. Slowly boiling it.
For how many hours?
I don't know. I just ate.
And for the hot pot, totally southern style, like in Guangzhou or in Hong Kong, like they have the chicken that's already in the soup, all cooked and boiled, and the first
seafood inside the soup.
All right, and so that is presented to you on the dinner table, and then the first thing you do is to taste the soup and eat the chicken or the seafood, and then you start putting in the ingredients. So as small as a hot pot, there are a million ways to eat it, and then in China, we're so proud of our regional heritage and the style of cuisine that represents the people there. So
there's diversity in the food culture in the country.
Tibetan yak hot pot.
What is the one thing that you must have when you're having hot pot?
Let me think.
I have a perfect answer. You guys go first.
Oh, I would say fishball. I love fishball.
That's a good one.
Okay, you are from southern China.
Oh, that's my root. And I was born in Tianjin, but my grandpa always told me that my root is in Guangdong province.
Fishball.
Yeah, so I love fishball a lot. Yeah.
I would like to have veggies. So spinach would do very well for me. Cabbages, no, that's not that attractive. And seaweed.
Oh.
And my wife prefers duck tongue, but that's kind of hard to accept for some people. Oh, by the way, I just remembered there are beef tongue, yak tongue in there.
Really?
Yeah, that's a great delicacy for some.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why is it that you like vegetables so much? Are you like, goody two-shoes all the way? Sorry to say that.
Well, I don't know what that word means, but yeah,
so you're really good. Like you're a righteous person.
That's
like
just
good student, good hardworking person, and then even in terms of eating, you like vegetables.
You know what? This is just an official answer from a celebrity. Yeah.
An official answer.
Yeah.
I like veggies. Keeps me fit.
Yeah.
Oh, and is it because it's healthy? Or
Yeah. Yeah, and also they're flavorsome. If you boil them in the clear soup, clear broth, and when they're done, you dip them in the spicy soup, and that's excellent.
Okay.
Ooh.
And
what's your answer?
Oh, thank you for asking. And when I have hot pot, I must have it with people that I take very special. Okay, guys. And that actually comes straight from the heart. So,
time to turn off the camera so He-Yang can really enjoy the hot pot.
Yes. So I don't need to cover up my mouth when I'm chewing. And thank you so much for spending time with us on Roundtable. You can follow us on our podcast platform, Apple Podcast at Roundtable China, or leave us messages and also find out the latest updates of our trip in Tibet. Railway Trip in Tibetan Style is a special series, yes, on Weibo, and that is 英语环球广播. And have yourselves a great day. Enjoy your meal. And we'll see you next time.
See you next time.
Bye. Bye.